as you get older,
Yep.
you have to look at things in a different way.
Floyd Mayweather takes a brutal jab at Terence Crawford over post-fight antics. Floyd Mayweather has thrown a harsh jab at Terence Crawford following his recent traffic incident and over-the-top celebration after defeating Canelo Alvarez. Commenting on the Omaha native's behavior, Mayweather didn't hold back. "If beating Canelo makes Crawford act like he runs the sport, imagine how he'd carry himself if he beat real legends like Manny," he remarked. Mayweather emphasized that every great fighter understands their limits, implying that Crawford's reaction was excessive and showed a lack of humility. According to Floyd, he handled the same victory with far more composure years ago, because, in his eyes, Crawford simply isn't in his league.
Protect yourself. Another point, Floyd Mayweather, he don't carry no guns. Floyd don't carry.
Mayweather calls out Crawford's offering behavior following police incident. Mayweather also addressed Crawford's recent offering troubles, highlighting his run-in with Omaha police. "It's unfortunate and embarrassing," Floyd stated, adding that instead of making headlines for the wrong reasons, Crawford should have been celebrating his historic win with his family. "Moments like that are meant to be cherished, not overshadowed by reckless behavior," Mayweather concluded.
A lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in the fight between Terence and Floyd, and I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah,
He's a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ in
But
that
the
shit
funny
is
thing
crazy.
about
Mayweather's comments on Crawford's judgment were sparked by headlines that began circulating early this morning out of downtown Omaha. Just hours earlier, the city had held a major parade in Crawford's honor, celebrating his career-defining victory over Canelo Alvarez. The undefeated champion was the centerpiece of the event, hailed by fans and officials alike. But the mood shifted dramatically by night's end. According to the Omaha Police Department, at around 1:30 a.m., officers observed a vehicle driving erratically near North 12th Street and Capitol Avenue. A traffic stop was initiated a few blocks away on Cass Street. Inside the vehicle were 4 individuals, among them Terence Crawford and his head of security, Qasim Shabazz.
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro. Can I move my phone?
Bug Crawford being harassed by cops and pulled over by the cops right after the parade. This is diabolical.
Later that day, the Omaha Police Department released an official statement outlining their account of the incident. According to the report, as officers engaged with the driver, one noticed a loaded firearm on the floorboard of the driver's side. For safety reasons, all 4 occupants were ordered out of the vehicle at gunpoint. After verifying identification, the driver was confirmed to be Terence Crawford. He was issued a citation for reckless driving but was not arrested. The statement also addressed the presence of firearms in the vehicle. One passenger, identified as a member of Crawford's security team, was legally carrying a weapon. The department clarified that all 4 individuals were lawfully permitted to possess firearms, and no additional charges were filed.
Once they had stopped, Crawford was identified as the driver. According to police, officers observed a firearm on the floorboard on the driver's side. All 4 people, including members of Crawford's security team, were ordered out of the vehicle at gunpoint. I spoke with the head of Crawford's security this afternoon, who says he's still shaken up.
The same fans who had cheered Terence Crawford during the parade just hours earlier were now watching a very different scene unfold. The undefeated champion in handcuffs on Cass Street. For many in Omaha, the night marked a jarring shift. What was meant to be a weekend of pride quickly turned into frustration and disappointment. Some fans expressed sympathy, blaming the moment on poor timing and misunderstanding. Others were more critical, accusing Crawford of reckless behavior and questionable decision-making so soon after a career-defining victory. Local station KV quoted an officer at the scene, who said the loaded firearm was first noticed when Crawford reached down to retrieve his license and registration.
Bro, I got a crazy clip to show you guys right now. But isn't that a policeman holding a gun to the 3-time undisputed world champ Terence Bud Crawford's head? What did he do that was so bad that you had to pull him?
That version of events was later challenged by Crawford's head of security, Qasim Shabazz, who offered a sharply different perspective. In a public statement, Shabazz directly contradicted the officer's claims, insisting that Crawford never reached for any documents, because he didn't have them. He had already told the officer his license and registration were at home, Shabazz said. There was no reason for him to reach for anything. Shabazz also stated that both he and Crawford had disclosed their firearms at the beginning of the stop, in full compliance with Nebraska law. Despite being transparent, he said the situation escalated rapidly. Bud said, "I have a firearm too," Shabazz recalled. The cop on his side went ballistic, totally unhinged, yelling, "Get your hands up, get out the car, don't reach, don't reach." But there was never a physical gun in sight. He described the moment as terrifying, saying, "Everyone thought we were going to die, man."
That was a nightmare. You know, future husband, just had a brand new child and, you know, children and, you know, and stuff like that. And to know that I almost lost my life last night because we had a police officer that don't know how to articulate a traffic stop.
She's also contested the reckless driving allegation. He explained that Crawford directly questioned the officer about the use of radar. According to Shees, the officer admitted that no radar was employed. "Well, how do you know I was speeding if you don't have radar?" Crawford asked. She stated that he recorded the entire exchange, capturing the officer on camera saying, "I cannot. I admit that I do not have radar."
I'm not reaching for no gun, bro. Can I move my car? You telling me the police at Omaha don't know who Terence Crawford is? Putting a gun in his face? Ridiculous.
The contradiction between the official account and Shee's version has further fueled the debate. Crawford's supporters pointed to Shee's statement as evidence that the stop was mishandled. Others argued that, regardless of whether radar was used, reckless driving could still be observed by officers. She's described the entire incident inside the car as tense and frightening. All 4 passengers, including himself, were handcuffed during the stop. He said the escalation felt unnecessary, especially after they had disclosed their firearms and tried to cooperate at Crawford's request. A police supervisor and lieutenant were dispatched to the scene. Their presence helped oversee the remainder of the interaction before the citation was finalized.
Raid in Omaha after receiving the keys to the city? Huh? Hey, yo, that cop gotta be some hater, bro. Hey, yo, that's like the NYPD holding Derek Jeter on gunpoint and arresting him after the Yankee championship parade in New York City, bro. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't even happen, bro. It wouldn't even happen. So this cop got to be some hate.
By then, however, the video circulating online had already shaped the narrative. Fans debated whether the police overreacted or if Crawford had placed himself in a compromising situation. Some viewed the incident as a blemish on an otherwise triumphant day for Omaha. Others echoed Mayweather's criticism, arguing that a fighter of Crawford's stature should not have been at the center of such an event. The Omaha Police Department's leadership quickly responded to the public attention. Chief Todd Schmaderer ordered an internal affairs investigation to review the officer's conduct. Mayor John Ewing expressed his support, confirming that both he and the chief were aware of the widely shared video. The investigation will focus on whether proper procedures were followed after the firearm was spotted, and when the decision was made to order passengers out at gunpoint.
I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with